My name is Dave McCarty. I am the administrator for the 2023 Hugo Awards being presented here in Chengdu, China in October. My team and I are proud to announce that we've had participation from over 1,800 people nominating over 25,000 individual works, over 17 Hugo categories and 2 other awards. Thank you, and we look forward to your participation in voting.
The finalists for the Astounding Award are Travis Baldry, Nassim Jamnia, Isabel J. Kim, Maija Liu, Everina Maxwell, and Waimu Xin. The finalists for the Lodestar Award are Akata Woman, The Nisbiti Scripts by Nedia Korafor, Bloodmarked by Tracy Dion, Dreams Bigger Than Heartbreak by Charlie Jane Anders, The Golden Enclaves by Naomi Novik, In the Serpent's Wake by Rachel Hartman, and Osmo Unknown and the Eightpenny Woods by Catherine M. Valenti. The finalists for Best Fan Artist are Ian Clark, Richard Mann, Laya Rose, Allison Scott, Espana Sheriff, and Orion Smith. The finalists for Best Fan Writer are Chris M. Barkley, Bitter Corella, Arthur Liu, River Flow, Jason Sanford, Urian Weston. The finalists for Best Fan Cast are Coode Street Podcast, presented by Jonathan Strahan and Gary K. Wolfe, produced by Jonathan Strahan. Hugo Girl by Haley Zoppel, Amy Sally, Laurie Anderson, and Kevin Anderson. Hugo's There by Seth Heasley. Kalanati, created and presented by Rachel. Octothorpe by John Coxon, Allison Scott, and Liz Batty. World Building for Masochists by Cass Morris, Rowena Miller, and Marshall Ryan Maresca. The finalists for Best Fanzine are Chinese Academic SF Express by Lotsep and Tianlu Qi. Galactic Journey by Gideon Marcus, Janice Marcus, Tammy Bozich, Erica Frank, Errol Lucas, and Mark Yan. Journey Planet by Regina Kanyu Wang, Yen Wei, Arthur Liu, Jean Martin, Aaron Underwood, Stephen H. Silver, Padraig Omloyd, and their other co-editors. Nerds of a Feather by Rosanna Pendlebury, Arturo Serrano, Paul Weimer, Adri Joy, Joe Sherry, Vance Kaltra, and G. Brown. Unofficial Hugo Book Club blog by Olav Rockney and Amanda Wakaruk. Zero Gravity Newspaper by Riverflow and Ling Shizhen. The finalists for Best Semi-Prozine are Escape Pod, co-editors Mur Lafferty and Valerie Valdez. Assistant editors Benjamin C. Kinney and Premi Mohammed. Host Tina Connolly. Producers Summer Brooks and Adam Pracht. FIA, edited by the entire FIA team. Choreo, edited by Team Choreo. Podcastle, co-editors Shingai Nijeri Kugunda and Eleanor R. Wood. Assistant editor Sophia Barker. Host Matt Dovey. Audio producers Peta Adrian Behravesh, Devin Martin, and Eric Valdez. Strange Horizons, edited by the Strange Horizons editorial team. Uncanny Magazine. Publishers and editors-in-chief Lynn M. Thomas and Michael Damian Thomas. Managing Poetry Editor Chimedum Ohegbu. Managing Editor Monte Lin. Nonfiction Editor Meg Ellison. Podcast producers Erica Ensign and Stephen Shapansky. The finalists for Best Professional Artist are Sija Hong, Curry Huang, Paul Lewin, Alyssa Winans, Jian Zhang, and NJ Zhao. The finalists for Best Editor Longform are Roxi Chen, Lindsay Hall, Lee Harris, Sarah Peed, Huan Yan, and Haijun Yao. The finalists for Best Editor Shortform are Scott H. Andrews, Neil Clark, Oganichovi Donald Ekpeki, Cherie Renee Thomas, Zhu Wang, and Feng Yang. The finalists for Best Dramatic Presentation Short Form are Andor, One Way Out, written by Beau Willimon, Tony Gilroy, and George Lucas, directed by Toby Haynes. Andor, Rick's Road, written by Tony Gilroy and George Lucas, directed by Benjamin Caron. The Expanse, Babylon's Ashes, written by Daniel Abraham, Ty Frank, and Naren Shankar, directed by Breck Eisner. For All Mankind, Stranger in a Strange Land, written by Matt Wolpert and Ben Nedivi, directed by Craig Zisk. She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, Whose Show Is This?, written by Jessica Gao, Francesca Gales, and Jacqueline Gales, directed by Kat Coro. Stranger Things Chapter 4, Dear Billy, written by Matt Duffer, Ross Duffer, and Paul Dichter, directed by Sean Levy. The finalists for Best Dramatic Presentation Long Form are Avatar, The Way of Water, screenplay by James Cameron, Rick Jaffa, and Amanda Silver, directed by James Cameron. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, screenplay by Ryan Coogler and Joe Robert Cole, directed by Ryan Coogler. Everything Everywhere All at Once, screenplay by Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert, directed by Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. Nope, written by Jordan Peele, directed by Jordan Peele. Severance, Season 1, written by Dan Erickson, Anya Oyang Monch et al., directed by Ben Stiller and Aoife McArdle. Turning Red, screenplay by Julia Cho and Domi Shi, directed by Domi Shi. The finalists for Best Related Work are Blood, Sweat, and Chrome, The Wild and True Story of Mad Max Fury Road, by Kyle Buchanan. Buffalito World Outreach Project by Lawrence M. Schoen. Chinese Science Fiction, An Oral History, Volume 1 by Yang Feng. The Ghosts of Workshops Past by S.L. Huang. Still Just a Geek, an annotated memoir by Will Wheaton. Terry Pratchett, A Life with Footnotes by Rob Wilkins. The finalists for Best Graphic Story or Comic are Cyberpunk 2077, Big City Dreams, by Bartosz Stybor, Felipe Andrade, Alessio Fiorinello, Roman Titov, and Krzysztof Ostrowski. Dune, the official movie graphic novel, by Lila Sturges, Drew Johnson, and Zid. Monstrous, Volume 7, Devourer, by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda. Once and Future, Volume 4, Monarchies in the UK, by Kieran Gillen and Dan Mora. Saga, Volume 10, by Brian K. Vaughan, Fiona Staples, and Phonographics. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, by Tom King, Bilquis Evely, and Matthias Lopes. The finalists for Best Series are Children of Time series by Adrian Tchaikovsky, The Founders Trilogy by Robert Jackson Bennett, The Locked Tomb by Tamsin Muir, October Day by Seanan McGuire, Rivers of London by Ben Aronovich, The Scholomance by Naomi Novik. The finalists for Best Short Story are DIY by John Wiswell, On the Razor's Edge by Jiang Bo, Rabbit Test by Samantha Mills, Resurrection by Ren King, The White Cliff by Lou Ban, Zhurong on Mars by Regina Kanyu Wang. The finalists for Best Novelette are The Difference Between Love and Time by Catherine M. Valente, A Dream of Electric Mothers by Wol Talabi, If You Find Yourself Speaking to God, Address God with the Informal You by John Chu, Murder by Pixel, Crime and Responsibility in the Digital Darkness by S.L. Huang, The Space-Time Painter by Hai Ya, We Built This City by Marie Vibert. The finalists for Best Novella are Even Though I Knew the End by C.L. Polk, Into the Riverlands by Ni Vo, A Mirror Mended by Alex E. Haro, Ogres by Adrian Tchaikovsky, What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher, Where the Drowned Girls Go by Seanan McGuire. The finalists for Best Novel are The Daughter of Dr. Moreau by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, The Kaiju Preservation Society by John Scalzi, Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry, Nona the Ninth, by Tamsin Muir. Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. The Spare Man by Mary Robinette Call.